Tandem Nomads, episode 160.
Why should you set up an Estonian company? Estonian company is the easiest way to start your location-independent business from anywhere in the world online, and it's the most cost-effective way.
Hello, Nomad Nation. Welcome to Tandem Nomads, the podcast show and entrepreneurship platform where you can find great inspiration and tips to grow a successful portable business and thrive in your global nomadic life. This is your host, Emel Deregi. I'm a business and marketing coach and the founder of Tandem Nomads. So one of the biggest challenges that a lot of global nomads like you have is to know where to set up your business. And this becomes even more complicated when visa restrictions, but also your back country, your original country, or passport country, or tax-based country does not allow you to set up a business if you don't live there. So this is a huge dilemma for, I know, a lot of my clients and a lot of you global nomads who are listening. So we have had a great guest in episode 158 to talk about this amazing, innovative program that Estonia has initiated that is called the E-Residency and allows people from anywhere in the world to set up their business in Estonia, even if they don't live there. So if you want to know more about the whole program, I really recommend you to go to that episode where we talk about it in details. How does it work? What are the benefits? And how you can actually apply to become an e-resident so that you can set up your business in Estonia. But today I'm bringing to you a great guest who's going to share with you the more practical aspects of setting up actually legally your business in Estonia, and also some guidance on all the financial aspects that you think you have to think about when you set up your business. So Chatlin Helm, thank you so much for being here. And are you ready for this ride?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for inviting me.
You're so welcome. And I'm so excited to have you here. We had some great conversations together. And so Nomad Nation, Chatlin is the community manager of Xolo. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Xolo, and then Chatlin will tell you a lot more about Xolo. So Xolo was founded in May 2015 out of the urge to revolutionize the way people become entrepreneurs and manage their companies. The company provides its accounting software and services to enable millions of freelancers, contractors, and digital nomads around the world to start and run microbusinesses in a hassle-free way. Xolo helps manage independent businesses from anywhere with access to secure banking, accounting, and one of the simplest tax systems in the world. And Estonia is famous for being one of the easiest and most digitalized administrative system to manage taxes. So we'll talk about that as well. Chatlin, I just summarized a little bit about Xolo, but I also would love our listeners to know about you. Who are you?
Yeah, I'm Chatlin. I actually joined Xolo at the very beginning. I was the 8th employee, and we have like 80 people now, and we're growing very fast. I started as a customer support agent, and then I was the one who was like onboarding everyone and helping them start their companies. And now I'm like grown into the community manager because what I learned from the position. But I was always very excited about the mission that Xolo has, which is like enabling freelancers and entrepreneurs around the world. Because all my friends are like freelancers, and all the people that I know, they want to start their own businesses and have this kind of freedom. And it's so cool to like see everyday people that we're helping and see how it actually benefits their lives and changes their lives. How like this little thing can do so much to them, for them.
I'm seeing you now and the energy you have when you say that. And we share that same mission to really help people thrive through entrepreneurship and be able to have that freedom of lifestyle or moving from a country to another, but still have a secure and professional support that helps them really grow in an effective and safe way. So I love that. And Nomad Nation, I just want to be very open here. There are so many companies, not that many, but there is a list of companies in Estonia who help you set up a company in Estonia. The reason I chose to look at Xolo is because they are really focused in people like most of your listeners I know who are freelance based or service based companies, and I think Xolo has built a real strength in that field. If you have a product based company, we can talk about it a bit later with Chatlin. But the reason I really chose Xolo is because I think they are the ones who work the most with the type of people like you and me, Nomad Nation. So, but I did share in the previous episode some more resources if you need to find other companies who do that. But I do believe that Chatlin here is going to bring you some great insights. So I can't wait to share that with you, which leads me to start here. Chatlin, let's just jump into it because we already talked a lot about this program in the previous episode with someone from the Estonian government who shares with us how it works. So now we can talk about the requirement to set up a business. So let's just jump in and say, what are the first things to know about how to be eligible to start a business in Estonia?
Yeah, actually, there are not so many requirements. It's us that make a lot of the requirements because Xolo has its own platform and we try to streamline all the processes. And that is why we cannot support all kind of businesses, as you said. But otherwise, there are not many requirements. You have to have the E-Residency card that you already talked about in your previous podcast. And the E-Residency card already does your background check and everything. So if you pass that, then you're kind of eligible to start a business in Estonia. And then you have to have enough money to pay the state fees, and you're ready to go. I can tell you quickly what the fees are also.
Yeah,
so
that would be good.
Understanding. So it's actually very budget friendly to start a company in Estonia. So it's 190 euros state fee to start the company. And then we have this API with the business registry, which means that you do it our platform. So it's 25 euros for that.
Can you explain a bit more? What is that? I'm not sure I understand, or
yeah,
maybe the listeners do.
Yeah, as you said, there are a lot of service providers who do what we do. But the difference that we have with the other service providers is that we have our own accounting platform, and we're fully integrated with the business registry, with banks, with payment gateways. And we offer all these other services like invoicing, expense management. And it's all automated. Whereas other companies have this more legacy accounting service, right? You have a dedicated accountant, whereas ours is this platform where it's automated.
It uses this artificial intelligence.
And also real accountants. We have the accountant bot, but we also have accountants who take care of the bookkeeping and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have API with the business registry, which is one-time fee, 25 euros for company registration. And then you have to pay our first monthly fee, which is 49 euros plus VAT, which is 25%. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, just a side note here, all the VATs, if your company gets VAT registered, which we do for free, and also VAT claiming at the end of the year, this means that you will get overpaid VAT back. So if you pay VAT on the monthly fee, you will get it back at the end of the year.
Okay, so we're going to have to break that down a little bit to make sure that we understand everything. So let's just first talk in general about just setting up the business. You're saying that setting up a business in Estonia, no matter what company we use, just simply requires to have the E-Residency. Is that what you're saying? There's no other requirement?
Yeah, that's the thing, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, because we have in Estonia the smart IDs, and then we can do it online, in a matter of 10 minutes. And then Estonia opened that up for foreigners, so they can have the residency card, and then they can do the same.
Excellent. So here, once we have the e-residency, we're ready to register. People can do it on their own if they want, but usually it's much more recommended that you do it with a company. And actually, even the government says it in their website. Use one of our partnered our partners companies to register a company, because it's much safer to make sure that you don't do anything that's not
Yeah.
yeah
I mean, of course, everyone
aligned.
can do it on their own, right? But it's just that not everything is translated into English yet.
Mhm.
So there might be language issues. Also, the compliance and rules that you have to learn might be like too much to get into. And it's often that you're used to some kind of regulations in your own country and you think they also apply in Estonia, and they might not. So you might run into a lot of problems there. And it's just like extra hassle and a lot of time that you have to put into, which is
Exactly.
unnecessary because that takes you away from concentrating on the actual thing you want to do, which is your own business.
That's such a good point. You want to focus on what you have to do, which is your business, and not manage all this admin. So this
Yeah.
is why you're here. And I've seen it so many times repeated in the conversation with the interview we had with the Estonian E-Residency program, about the fact that it's important to use other services. I will put in the show notes of this episode the link to all the other platforms that exist so that you can all make your choice. But as I said, Nomad Nation, I also built a partnership with Xolo that they will be giving you a 50 euros discount if you join Xolo, and we'll give you more information later. But if you are interested in this, go to tandemnomads.com/160 and you'll find all the information there. All right. So it is so easy, apparently, that we don't have to worry a lot. But I would like to now look at what happens after we register, so that people are prepared and know a little bit about, what does it mean to set up in terms of requirements, but also responsibilities in terms of legal aspects and tax aspects. So what are the things you think are important to know once we set up a business in Estonia?
Yeah, I think one of the things is that because it is so simple and it's so fast to like set everything up, people are like, oh, it's like signing up for Netflix or something like that. And they think like it's a subscription-based business that you can like opt in and opt out whenever you want to. But it's important to note that you are starting actually a company that is in your name. So as we are the service providers and other service providers, we are just there to help you, but we have no legal kind of stance in your company, right? So you're in charge of your company. What you need to know is that there is requirement for you to do bookkeeping every month, to keep track of all your taxes that you do. Like all these basic things that if you want to start it on your own, you're not aware, and then in like 6 months or something, you might notice like, oh damn,
Yeah.
I haven't done all these things, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, like the business setup is very like simple in Estonia. There's not much that you have to actually do. It's like you set it up, you get a business bank account, and you're ready to do business because you already have all the credentials and everything. You can start invoicing and start making money. And
Amazing.
yeah, so there's no like, yeah, I mean, there are no like exceptionally difficult requirements that you have to do. And as said, it's like fully online. You don't have to keep any papers. Like in a lot of countries, it's like a lot of paper things that you keep and go to some offices, whereas like in Estonia, everything's online. You just submit it by clicking somewhere and signing it with your E-Residency card, and that's it. And you don't have to do anything.
That's amazing. Honestly, it seems so easy that it feels like unreal. But I just want to address some of the things that I think people should be prepared for, because I've been doing some research and I've been communicating with people who did the online residency platforms, and I just listed some things that I think are important. The first barrier that I've seen, although it is easy, but we still need to address it, it's opening a bank account in Estonia. So how does that work?
So yeah, there was a new law passed a couple of years ago that if you have an Estonian company, you can have an EU bank account for the Estonian company. It doesn't have to be Estonian. But Xolo only partners with 2 banks. This is because we want to be able to integrate them to our platform, and we have full APIs and like full integration with them, right? So we have a legacy bank in Estonia, Estonian bank LHV, that's our partner. And then we work with an Estonian startup called TransferWise, which is like an electronic money institution, or I don't know how they actually categorize them. but they actually have a banking product which is borderless, and they have business banking there, which we use. Yeah, and the difference between them is that TransferWise can be opened fully online. You don't have to travel anywhere. You just have to have a video call, and you can have multiple currency accounts there, and it's like doesn't have a monthly fee or anything. LHV requires you to travel to Estonia once in person in order to be opened. Yeah, and they're more like a traditional bank with all the like, I don't know, additional features that you might want from a bank, like investing accounts or something like that, which like TransferWise doesn't have. But otherwise, they're both fully functioning with bank cards. You can make transfers anywhere in the world, like anything you need in order to.
Do you know what are the fees to have a bank account in your partner's banks?
So TransferWise has no monthly fees, just free. But LHV has a €10 monthly fee for the account.
€10 monthly fee. And is there like a minimum to have in the account or a maximum?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No minimum maximum. Okay, those are great things to know. So there were a lot of discussions about banking issues with Estonia and the E-Residency program. Can you tell us a bit more about that and try to educate us on what has happened and what's your position there?
Yeah, that's the main thing that we get asked about because it was such a big news. It is because so Estonia doesn't really have its own banks. They're all run by like Swedes or foreign banks. And then because they're run by people who are not from Estonia, then the e-residency is such a novel kind of thing. So they're pretty much afraid of it because like no one really understands it or something because it is so progressive. But then we work with Estonian bank and the Estonian startup who know about it and who are also involved about it. So that's why we have partnerships with them and that's why it works so well. Mm-hmm. Also, the way that we screen our customers is good for them because they're also customers that they also that's also their demographic. So yeah, that's
Excellent.
how it works. Yeah.
Excellent. So that gives a choice. And I know that TransferWise, I've been using it. It's a great tool for making transfers and it's pretty cheap transfers compared to other banks. And Nomad Nation, I recommend you to, if you're interested in using the services of Xolo, is to also reach out to the bank and have more information about the requirements for the banks to open an account so that you can be fully, informed before you start any action. This is why we did this episode here. Some of the things that I know is important to know on top of the fees, the monthly fees, is to know usually how much it costs to process transfers, etc. So these are the kind of information we need when you have a portable business and do international transfers. That's one of my biggest messages. I don't know if you think there's other things to really pay attention to when opening a bank account.
No, the thing is that as we have partnerships with them, so we do the pre-screening already because we have a very exhaustive business description that you have to fill out, which is based on the questions that the bank would also ask. So it's pretty much if we have accepted you, which is you have no commitment yet, you only pay when you actually want to start the company, then it's 95% sure that you will get an account open. Unless there is a communication issue or something that's we didn't see it coming or something like that.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So, I just want to, before we go into more information about what to know about how to do business in Estonia, actually not doing business in Estonia, but registering your company. And I want to talk about taxes and things like that. But I realize there's one thing we have to clarify about what Xolo is, because everything we talk about, it has a lot to do with the services you provide. And they're also very similar to other people who provide similar services, is that at the end, what you help people set up their company. But that's basically not your main business. Your main business is helping them manage their accounting and their bookkeeping, correct? Yeah. So it's just like an extra service that you provide to help people set up their companies and then manage their accounting. Because I think legally in Estonia, you do have to have monthly reporting or something like that. Is it true?
Yeah, you have to have monthly reporting. You also have to have a business address in Estonia. So
Okay.
this is also a service that we provide. We give you a business address, like a physical address that you can receive mail to.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's needed, like if you need Google My Business or something like that, you need to have a physical address that you can receive mail to. Then you also need to have a local contact person if you're not in Estonia yourself. So this is also a service that we provide. So these are the things that you need, and this is the service that we provide, right? But then in general, what we do is we offer this all-in-one kind of accounting admin tool for your business. I can also later share the video with you.
Yeah, please.
which gives you an overview how the platform actually works. But on the
Yeah.
platform, you have everything. You have overviews of your bank accounts. You have an overview of your incomes and expenses. We have a special tool for like expense reporting where you upload all your invoices. We have also an app for your phones. So if you're like on the go, you don't have to keep the receipts. You just take the photo, you upload it in the system through the app, and then you throw it away, which is like very different from a lot of other countries where you have to keep them for years and years. We also have an invoicing tool. So you don't have to have another like external service for that. Business traveling tool where you just like insert your travel information because digital nomads like to travel a lot, right? So that makes it very simple to report business trips. And this is
That's great. So I realized that basically in the requirements, we need an address, and that's also something you provide. So that's important to highlight. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot that at the beginning.
So that's important to highlight. And that's one of the things that you provide also on top of the support in terms of accounting and bookkeeping. So is that all included in your fee, or is that like different kind of fees? How does that work?
Yeah, at the very beginning, like our philosophy has been that we want to be very transparent in our pricing. So this is the monthly fee. There are no extra costs except for the bank. If you want to go with LHV, then there's the monthly fee of 10 euros extra. But that's like an external service, right? But otherwise, like to our services, we don't take any extra for like annual reports that you have to do, or like if your company needs VAT, we don't take any extra for VAT registration or reporting. And everything's included in the monthly fee. And the monthly fee is like flat. So you start with 49 euros plus VAT. And you can have that until your company makes 1,000 euros. And then when you come, that's like when you're starting, and then it might take months to get things off the ground for some people, for some businesses. And then once you make 1,000 euros, then you're upgraded automatically to full plan, which is 79 euros plus VAT.
Excellent. I also saw that if somebody needs to pause their business, you also have a solution for that.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I also read on your website that if for some reason or another, health reasons, whatever, somebody needs to pause the business, you have a special fee to maintain the account running, but with a lower cost, like around 23 or so.
Yeah, it's hibernation. So because you can't, like, as I said before, opt in and opt out randomly because it is a company and there's like requirements needed to keep it running. So if you know that you're not gonna have any business for a couple of months or a year, then you can hibernate your company, and then it's a lower fee of 39 euros plus VAT. This means because you still need to do like the reporting, and you still need to have the address and the contact person, and it's for that. Yeah.
So you can pause it. How about if somebody wants to close a business? What happens?
Yeah. So closing a business, it's actually a very simple procedure, except that it lasts for a really long time. It takes like 6 months to close it. And we do provide that service to our customers. Not like if someone wants to come and then wants us to close it, then we don't offer that as a separate feature. But if you're our customer, then we can help you with that. We charge you 200 euros plus VAT for it. And it means for you, if you want to close the company, just like signing a lot of papers with the E-Residency card. But for us, we just have to prepare documents which like show that you don't have any debt, that you're really closing the company, and all the assets are in place and everything's fine.
So there's an advantage there too, although hopefully Nomad Nation, if you start a business, is not to close it. But
Yeah.
I find it, because I've seen other people really struggle to close their businesses. There are some countries where it's super easy, others where it's super complicated. And
Mhm.
having somebody who just takes care of everything is just such a relief. So
Yeah.
I just think that's important to highlight too.
Yeah, it's also good that any assets that you have in your company, if you want to take them out when you're closing it, you don't have to pay any tax in Estonia or anything. So
Mm.
you just can close it and then you're done and you get to keep everything.
Excellent. Excellent. So, which leads me to the taxes. It would be good if you could introduce us a little bit to the taxation regulations in Estonia and how does it work?
Yeah. So as I said at the beginning, it is a very simple system, but it's simple because it's very transparent. So everyone needs to so that everyone can understand it. So yeah, if you are a location independent business owner, then you have two ways how you can take funds out of your company. You can pay yourself dividends or you can pay yourself a salary. And there's also a good thing about Estonia is that we don't have any profit tax. So you only pay taxes when you take money out of the company. If it's in the company, then you don't pay any taxes. And you can also invest all your earnings and it's not taxed. So
Wow.
it's a good thing, also a benefit.
Mhm.
But yeah, dividends. So here's a bit complicated story because in order to be able to pay dividends, you have to pay in the share capital. So there's a requirement in Estonia to pay the share capital for the company, which is 2,500 euros. But you pay it in and it's your money, it stays in the company. It's kind of to prove to the government or that you have enough funds to get it going. And then you can start using that money towards your.
Okay. So let me just pause you here 1 second. So it means that for the requirements, there is also 2,500 euros minimum to have
That is,
in the capital of the company
that is for the dividends, yeah.
for the only for dividends, not just to open a company.
No.
Okay.
You can post, like, it's a requirement, but it can be postponed indefinitely. It's
Okay.
a weird thing, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, if you want to pay dividends, then you have to pay in the share capital. And you're also personally liable for the company if you haven't paid in the share capital. So these are the two things. And then once you have paid that in, you don't have to pay it in one go. You can pay it in parts over time. Like, yeah, it's very like loose. Then you have to turn in the annual tax report, which we do for you then. And then you can pay dividends 4 times a year. And then it's taxed with 20% of corporate income tax that you pay out. And that's what you have to pay in Estonia. And then you have to find out what the personal taxes are in your country of residence, like where you're personally taxed. And then you have to pay that also. But yeah, if there is a double taxation agreement between your country and Estonia, which can be found really easily online if there is, then you don't have to pay corporate tax twice or anything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So you talked about a lot of important things here, and I'm kind of going to break it down because
Yeah,
this is really good information. Let me just break it down first. How would you make the difference between a dividend and a salary?
Yeah. So as said, dividends have these requirements, and dividends are something that it's meant to be paid once you've had business and you've made like profit. So you can distribute the profits. That's pretty much dividends. And that's the more complicated way to pay. And then salary is very simple. If you live outside of Estonia and you have tax residency outside of Estonia, then you don't have to pay any taxes in Estonia because you're not using any of the infrastructure or anything. So you just can pay salary anytime, as many times as you want. It doesn't have to be regular or anything. You don't have to pay in the share capital, and you just make a payment from your bank account. You just write it in the description. It's a salary payment. That's done. But you have to report it in your country of residence. You have to pay personal taxes. And here a lot of people ask like, hey, why would I ever pay dividends? Because it's like taxed with 20% and employee salary is not. Well, the difference is in personal taxation. Because usually the personal taxation is lower on dividends than it is on employee salary that you receive from a foreign country. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm not sure I understood actually that part. Could you explain it again? Like, are you saying that dividend taxes are lower than salary taxes or vice versa? I'm not sure I understood.
Personal taxes, yeah.
Okay.
But it depends on countries. Like each country has different taxation.
So let's remove the double taxation component, because that one is another piece that makes it even more complex. But let's just say we're in Estonia. The dividends. What are the benefits of using dividends versus salary?
Yeah. So that's the thing. If you're Estonian and you're paying dividends or salary, then again the corporate taxation is lower on dividends than it is on salary.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
So those who are abroad might benefit better from having a salary because they won't be taxed.
Yeah, but
necessary.
But then there are countries where there's like no taxation on foreign dividends. Like Ireland is one of those countries, and then it's very good for them to pay dividends because they only pay 20% and nothing else.
Excellent. So here comes, perfect. Thank you so much. So here comes the foreign component, and here is where Nomad Nation, I really urge you, if you consider to start a business via the E-Residency program, that you also talk to a double taxation expert between your country, your base country, and Estonia. And I know that seems simple, but for some of you it might not be easy to know, okay, what's my base country? But that is really something you want to look at in terms of like, where are you stationed the longest, and where's your passport, and where have you been paying taxes so far, so that you can really make sure that you're not paying taxes twice, that both countries, that your country base and Estonia have a treaty. A lot of countries have treaties to avoid that you pay double taxes. And then based on what that legal advisor gives you, you make the decision with Xolo or Estonian company who helps you set up your business, and how you want to pay yourself in a most effective manner for you to pay the least taxes. So this is what I would recommend.
Yeah. Well, we cannot talk about optimization.
Can you tell me your thoughts here?
No, that's exactly what we also tell our customers, because we really want to help everyone also sort out their personal taxation, but because we have customers over 100 plus countries, it's very complicated. So actually we do have some tax advisors, and we have a German tax advisor that's really helpful that we can recommend if our customers come to us, and then he helps with German taxation. And we also have a community, E-Residency community. We also have our own freelancer community where people talk about how they do their taxes in their resident countries. So yeah, but that's something that we really are not we're not really dealing with that part.
That's not your job, for sure. No, you're here to help set up the company, but most importantly, run the accounting, the bookkeeping, and do the tax declarations every month. It seems to be a monthly thing in Estonia, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to declare your revenues every month?
You have to have monthly bookkeeping.
Monthly bookkeeping.
Yeah.
And when is the time where people declare their taxes?
So we do it in the summer, I think in June.
Okay.
For our customers,
Okay. Very good. So it's once a year.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So it's like every country, basically. I just wanted to check, because in some countries you can choose if you want to pay quarterly, if you want to pay, monthly.
We have annual. Whereas VAT requires monthly reporting.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, great. So what you do is support with those things, but you're not here to give legal advice, for sure. We're not here to give legal advice either in Tandem Nomads. I'm just here to try to guide you, Nomad Nation, in the direction you have to go in order to consider this option that I find an amazing option for you to set up your company in Estonia. Just make sure to educate yourself with what I'm providing you, but also make sure to talk to a tax advisor who knows about your particular country and Estonia and what happens between both countries when it's about taxation. I think that's the main message once you decide to step into this solution.
Yeah, E-Residency also has on their webpage legal and tax advisor list that they have approved. So you can also find help from there.
Exactly. I will actually put that list again in the show notes of this episode. So go to tandemandnomads.com/160. I will put the list of those tax advisors and all the service providers that the government recommends, including Xolo. And this is how I found you, thanks to the E-Residency program, actually. So I'll put that link there, Nomad Nation, so you can find all those companies and people who can support you through the process. And as I said, also use the promo code Tandem Nomads if you want to use the services of Xolo so that you can have a €50 discount. So this is really good. It basically says that your initial fees are kind of discounted.
Your first month is covered.
Your first month is covered.
Yeah.
All right. So again, all the information on tandemnomads.com/160. Let me see if I did not forget anything. I think we talked about some of the biggest pieces here about what to know about how to set up a business. I just want to highlight something about the fact that, as I said at the beginning, you're really specialized in service-based companies. Is there anything you can share about those who have products to sell? Because I know that that's one area where there's still a lot of work to do regarding the E-Residency program and for companies who want to set up there. What is your experience with that?
Yeah, so we get a lot of people requesting us to help them with either drop shipping based businesses or Amazon FBA or just like the sale of physical goods, right? The thing is that because we have like this automated service that we're trying to strive for, then the taxation for these kind of services is very complicated because like the production place, the selling place, like the sending, inventory, all these kind of things come in place and they're very like specific. So it needs a lot of like custom work. And that's why we haven't ventured into it. It doesn't mean that we're not planning. It's just that it's taken us a long time to do the research and get it like implemented in our system. But there are service providers that do that in Estonia. And we actually have customers who open 2 companies, one for the physical goods, one like for the services to provide whatever they're offering. And it actually works because like the monthly fees are different. It matters like how much do they actually do business, and then it makes sense for them to run 2 things, or like you go to one that does both, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, so we will, in that list, like I said, there will be those companies there as well that they can check. Right, it's in the same web pages where you're listed, correct? Yeah. Okay. So, is there any mistakes that you've seen people do, your clients, that you want to warn about, just to give us a bit more awareness?
I think like the main things that we warn our customers about is like that they have to remember that they're running a location independent business, because like it's very easy to like get used to like being in a place and then you want to like settle in there, and then it doesn't really comply with the rules anymore of having a location independent business. So what I'm talking about is like a lot of our customers ask about like having a company car, having offices somewhere, like permanent residency for the company, buying office furniture or something like that. And then we always have to remind them that, hey, you're currently running a location independent business, so you can't like tie your company anywhere, because that would like alert your local tax office and be like, hey, you have like a permanent residency here and you're doing all your work here, so why are you running it through Estonia, right? So how it works is that you have to have fully online business. And then that's one of the things that people find not very hard, but sometimes like, because some people are really used to like running companies in their own country, and then they have to like adjust to this idea that everything is online and then your business is done online, and that's how it only works. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's like a thing that we have to deal with a lot.
Okay, so is there some rules about that? I'm trying to understand. Is there like some rules where you can't like deduct your rent for an office, for example?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you can do it if you're like in Estonia, but then if you have an Estonian company and you want to do it in like, let's say Poland, then it doesn't anymore make sense, because you would have an Estonian company that has presence in Poland, and then the Polish tax office would be like, what's happening here? You're paying your taxes to Estonia, and then you're doing everything here in this office, and you have all the expenses here.
All right. Okay. Now I understand. And it goes back to some of the buzz that's been going on about, how important you have to be very transparent. And I love that all my conversations with Estonia in general are all about transparency. And I think that's really important because some people would try to use this program to actually just evade taxes. Let's just, and that's basically why the Estonian program is sometimes subject to criticism, is because it might seem as an easy solution to evade taxes, but I think there's more and more guards put in place to avoid that, and your job is to make sure that that doesn't happen either, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, because there's like a digital mark to every kind of expense or income that you have, so it's like very difficult to hide anything.
Exactly. And because there's digital transparency, it's part of the Estonian culture to have a digital identity and transparency, that it's really hard to hide it. So that's a good point.
Yeah, it's something that maybe is not that familiar to a lot of other people, but it's something that we've grown up with. Like, I'm only 28, and I'm like, everything that I do is like online, like all the services that we use. Like, if I go to a doctor, they write a prescription, it's like online, I can check it out. Or like when I vote online, I don't have to go anywhere. Like all my banking, everything. When I do my tax declaration, I don't have to do anything. It's already there. I just have to click, and then sign, and then it's done,
That's
and
amazing.
and that's something that's unfamiliar to a lot of people because it hasn't been that advanced. And then the same applies to this, like having an Estonian company, that it seems very simple, but there's a lot of things that go on in the background. Yeah. But then you as a user, you're like, wait, I really haven't done anything. I'm just doing my business and sending invoices out.
Yeah. And it's funny, this is a side note, not necessarily related to how to set up a business, but I want to share that with you because the whole conversation for me and why I wanted to bring you on the show and talk about this program is also talking about how governments have to start being part of our world today and have to start moving faster with the way they deal with administration. And Estonia, for me, so far, is one of the number one countries in terms of living in our times in a digital world. And the reason why now the E-Residency has been open to people abroad is more, Estonia has always been doing that. It's just that they realized, actually, we could open this to people outside of Estonia because it's so easy to trace anyhow. So we can know exactly who's who, and we make sure that there's complete transparency.
Yeah. And we do cooperate with other countries also. It's not like a closed circle or anything. Yeah.
So what do you mean by that? What kind of collaboration are you talking about?
Like our tax offices work together in that sense, like running a company, or like other companies other countries are also interested in e-residency or like improving their digital services that the government offers. And we consult them, we advise them, we help them start it. Like last time I heard, but I think Netherlands was really interested in having e-residency, and we're working with them very closely. Yeah, and there's such examples. Yeah,
fabulous. So Nomad Nation, I hope that now you have enough information for you to start looking and digging deeper into it with more awareness and knowledge. We have 2 amazing episodes about this topic, one about what it is, and today more about how to implement it and register your business. If you have any questions, you can reach out to put your comments in tandemnomads.com/160 and find all the information we'd mentioned. Chatlin, you also mentioned that you will share a video where there's some explanations. Yeah. I will put it in that page. But let us know, is there any place where we can find you? And if we needed to ask any questions directly to Xolo, where do you recommend to go?
We're on all social media platforms. Find us on Instagram, Solopreneur. Find us on Facebook, Xolo. Find us on Twitter, Xolo, on LinkedIn. We're very responsive on all the channels. You can write to us. You can comment. You can just follow us because we have webinars monthly. We're interested. So yeah, And in general, you can always shoot us an email that you can find on our website. We're always happy to help. We're like, yeah, the one thing that our customers always are really happy about is that we do a lot of like pre-consulting. So like before you actually like step into this world of starting a company in Estonia, like we do a lot of consulting before and get everything sorted out, so you don't have to like jump in blindly.
Yeah, I love that about Xolo and you, Chatlin, and Nomad Nation. Just for you to know, the way we got into this interview, I simply went to the website and just popped a question, and I had an answer a few hours later and said, "Hey, I want to have more information about Xolo." We had a first call with Chatlin and I. She explained me how it worked, and I said, "Okay, would you be willing to come on the show?" She said yes. So very responsive, and I really had a really great feeling that you care and you're not here just to like just sell. You're really here to make sure to help through the process before jumping into
Yeah,
your services. So that's great. I can
we
testify
really
of that.
do believe like in the mission. Yeah, because we've like lived it and a lot of us have experience in it. So, and we want to make sure that it's not like, that it's like good for everyone also when they're like actually doing it.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Chatlin, for taking the time to share with us your expertise and all these important information to know about how to set up a company in Estonia. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun for sure. Always. Thank you so much, Chatlin and Nomad Nation. Once more, I will gather all the information here on tandemnomads.com/160. And we built an affiliate partnership with Chatlin, with Xolo and Tandem Nomads. So if you want to have a discount of €50 once you jump into Xolo, type in the code Tandem Nomads. Thank you so much, Nomad Nation. I hope this was really helpful for you and inspiring. And let me know your thoughts. I always want to hear about your thoughts. Leave your comments in the webpage of this episode or any other place where you know where to find me on social media. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Stay tuned to turn your challenges into great opportunities.